I'm about to feed them to the sharks right now. Get them hype right now. Yeah. You know the ground is up. Yeah. Everybody that trains, you know the game. Yeah. So let's get it. Slap it up, bump it, and roll. Hey. Yeah, that's the way that it goes. Ain't no better way to better yourself in this game. You're feeling the growth. That's time on the mat. We put in the work. Believe it ain't easy, I know. But we train for the love of the game, the love of the art. Now slap it up, bump it, let's roll.
Welcome to episode 94 of the BJJ Campaign podcast. My name is Jeff Boone. I'm an A3 blue belt, 4 stripes.
Phil Coors, A2 blue belt, 4 stripes.
Philly back on the wagon here, doing consecutive podcasts in season 3.
Mm-hmm. Every other week on different days.
Yeah, that's right. And by the way, just for the audience, because I said we would look it up last week, it was on the Business BJJ podcast that indeed what they'd come up with the name for Gordon Ryan's affiliation is New Wave Jiu Jitsu.
It's terrible.
I think it's great because it's a new wave of Jiu Jitsu.
Is it? It's terrible.
And they live where there's waves.
That's cool.
Yeah.
But the name is terrible.
I don't think it is. I mean, what would you have called it?
Anything but that. Like Gordon Ryan's Jiu Jitsu School would be a better name.
I don't know. No, it wouldn't.
You don't think his name sells?
His name definitely sells.
It's much better than New Wave. I'm just going to give it a wave as I drive on by, and I don't sign up for that school because it's a terrible name.
Okay.
It's just a bad name.
Okay, that's not even the most important update. The most important update is, did you see the match announcement?
Yeah, I don't know who the other guy is.
He was on the podcast, Phil.
No, he wasn't.
Yeah, he was.
When?
Whenever I was at Pans and I interviewed those people, Roberto Jimenez was one of those people.
I wasn't there. I was too fucking nervous about my match. I wasn't paying attention that day. Yeah, I was a wreck. Yeah,
you were very nervous, but I was very excited because he's a very handsome individual too. Mm-hmm. Roberto Jimenez.
Who was his match against?
Gordon Ryan.
No, at Pants, or was he not competing?
He did compete. I don't know what he got. I'm not sure what he got because I don't know. But what I like about him, do you know anything about Roberto Jimenez? So what I like about him is he's much like Gordon Ryan in that he doesn't, he's the one, if you remember the advice that he gave from that episode where we published it, it was that do jiu-jitsu the way you want to do jiu-jitsu. And his example was he's a submission artist. He doesn't feel that winning on points or anything means anything. Mm-hmm. He feels that the end game of jiu-jitsu is to submit your opponent.
Okay.
And I love that. I love that outlook. I think it's a fantastic way to be. And I'd love to say that I'm that way, but I'm not. But
no, every time we roll, you're like 2.
That is not true. But I do think it's going to be an exciting match. I don't think it's going to be a long match, for sure. I think that Gordon Ryan has probably 30 pounds on him because he was going to fight. So it was going to be Nicky Ryan. Nicky Ryan then hurt his knee and pulled out of the match. And Roberto was like, "Hey, I'll take Gordon if he'll do it." Mm-hmm. And that's the first matchup.
Yeah, it's a no-lose for him.
Yeah, of course it is. Yeah. You know, I mean, what if he does catch him? That'd be crazy, you know?
Yeah.
So I like the matchup. I'm I think it's the February 19th, I think is
I don't know
what it is on Flow Grappling. But anyhow, that is the Gordon Ryan update.
Terrible name.
Okay. Well, we'll agree to disagree on that, Phil.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see what you like about it.
I'm a Gordon Ryan dick rider, man. I don't like anything he does. So, sorry.
That's not true. You've disliked some of the stuff in the past.
Shh, you shut your mouth.
He's probably listening.
Yeah.
When's his match with Lovato?
I think it's later in the summer. Oh, news on that. Lovato just came back from getting juiced with stem cells all over his body.
Okay.
In Mexico. So he was saying on Instagram today he was feeling really, really good after a week. Yeah.
When you gone?
I think it's a possibility, but I think I want to go do the Panama thing. That's the Neil Roard. I feel like that's.
I feel like you got to start lifting or something, or it's going to be a waste.
Lift. It's stem cells. It's for recovery. Not. I mean, I'm already jacked, Phil. What are you talking about?
Yeah, it's true. All right.
Not true, ladies and gentlemen. I have a topic that I was just texting one of our teammates about, and that is, it may be the case that you're just avoiding certain positions, or in this case, like not doing heel hooks, right? And it may actually be that your academy just doesn't allow that positioning and stuff, because there are academies that do that. Luckily, ours is not one of those. I mean, we've got carte blanche, obviously, as long as we're safe training them and we kind of know the implications, then it's okay to do that. But they were texting me. They started training somewhere else, and they said, "Hey man, heel hooks and the gi, it's on. They do it everything." And this person's an upper belt, and they said they were like, I'm like blue belt level in the heel hooks. I'm like, yeah, I mean, well, really, you're white belt level if you don't do heel hooks, right? I mean, if you don't do heel hooks and say you're a purple belt, you're still a white belt at heel hooks. Mm-hmm. You might understand the positioning a little better. You're a 4-stripe white belt.
Stop quantifying everything.
Sorry,
you're just bad at them.
Yeah, you're bad at it.
Your number thing now. I'm noticing how often you put
on your nerves. I like labels. It that it's getting on your nerves. I'm going to do it more.
You're quantifying everything. Yeah, I don't think you could do it more.
You're right. But I mean, the point of the whole thing is that if you don't do a position or a submission, you're not going to be good at that position or submission, no matter where you are. Mm-hmm. You might know the body mechanics of different positioning, but you're still not going to be good at it.
Yeah.
So, first, what are your thoughts on that? What is there anything that you've avoided that you feel like, hey, I've avoided this and I'm terrible at it, and because for me, I'll give you my example. I'm a white belt in closed guard. I mean, I'm not good in closed guard because I don't play closed guard. Mm-hmm. I've been playing a little bit more lately just because it's been interesting to me, but it was never interesting to me before.
Yeah. Well, I mean, takedowns. I avoid that.
Right.
Yeah.
But most people do.
Yeah.
That's your saving grace.
I guess. I mean, that would definitely be the one for me. I don't like takedowns.
Yeah, I don't kind of feel like there's anything else that we don't.
I mean, I don't really. I feel like lately I've joked around about like I've ruled a lot of shit out. Like I don't like half guard. I spent a lot of time playing with it, and I don't like it. And I suck at it.
I don't understand that.
But no, I feel like at one point or another we've played with everything, and we change our mind about it every 6 weeks about which one is fun and which one isn't. So takedowns is just the only thing, and that's just, I mean, the only time it's like fun to do it is when there's not many people and you can like really go for it. Because like the rest of the time, like I'm always going to be more considerate of other people than I am of myself with takedowns. And when there's a number of people, like you just can't run somebody across.
Yeah, you're right.
And like I'm not good at it, and it's like I'm not going to cleanly take someone down. So I don't know. I would need to go out of my way to work on that. Like I would.
You would have to like sign up for a wrestling class or something,
Yeah, or
do judo.
Like what I did with that. Yeah, see, that's.
I'm not going to do that either.
Right.
It's too hard on my body. I know it.
I mean, is it though? Like it's just break falls.
Yeah, it is.
It's just break falls.
It is. I stub my toe doing it. I do something stupid inevitably, and I'm like, this is why I don't do this. This is why I can't have nice things.
All right. Yeah, I mean, I don't go either.
I know. Why are you arguing over this?
Yeah, I don't know. Like what I did with Nick was helpful, but I still suck at takedowns. I mean, he worked some wrestling stuff with me, some basic stuff, and gave me like good ideas.
Nick, my nephew Nick, for those referencing out there.
Oh, everybody knows who Nick is.
Well, I'm just
there's
we
only
might have
one.
new listeners. We don't know.
That's true.
I mean, there's nobody new.
There's no shot. Yeah.
Although now the BJJ Brick is only doing their once a month episode, and we could take over that spot.
Because we do it twice a month.
Twice a month, yeah.
Yeah.
We're doubling their output.
Doubling down on podcasts.
We're coming for you guys. Byron, Joe, Gary.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, yeah, I don't know. I feel like I'd have to work on that. But I would probably just work on pulling guard.
Yeah. No, I get it.
Yes.
And sweeps.
Yeah.
There's a lot of time left doing it. But I guess the point of it being is that if you neglect it, first, if you neglect an area of your game, don't be upset if you're terrible at it. I mean, that's just going to be the case, right? I mean, luckily, like close guard, even if I'm terrible at it, it goes to open guard, and that's where I'm comfortable. So that's all right. So I have been working on it and addressing that lately, and I've actually really enjoyed some of the stuff, especially the stuff that you showed me and everything.
Like
with it.
how does your close guard suck? Like that doesn't make any sense.
It's not dangerous in
In
any
what
way.
way?
In
Like,
any way.
So like, what do you?
In any way.
So like every time I've been taught a flower sweep, it's been taught from the close guard.
That's my strongest point in my close guard is the flower sweep.
So like, yeah.
Okay, so an offensive closed guard, going away from the flower sweep and the old man sweep, which you keep your guard closed almost the whole time for it, and it's relatively low danger. But I'm not getting anybody with an arm bar or a triangle setup that I'm setting up slick unless it's in open guard. So I don't have a dangerous closed guard.
But you sweep from there all the time.
True. I'm not submitting from there.
Okay.
That's what I mean by it.
So your arm bar sucks.
I mean, I think that could be said with a fairly high amount of confidence.
Okay.
But not from other positions. Like not, dude, literally, I think I've gotten one person with our fundamental armbar ever in my life of jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
From close guard.
Uh-huh.
So I would say it sucks. But then Steve Hall, in that seminar, whenever we were doing that, he said he's gotten like 4 people in that close guard. Now, variations, of course, yes. But he said it's not something you're going to catch people in.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm rethinking.
Yeah.
Fuck. Still working on it. Whatever. Man.
Yeah. Because all the attacks don't really come from the close guard other than the cross choke.
Yeah, you're right.
Which is what I liked because I didn't have to open the guard.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that cross choke. I like the cross choke too. Been working on it a little. But so, yeah. That's where I'm at on that. What else, Phil? What do you got for us today?
There's no point. There's no point in keeping him in the close guard. Like, unless you're stalling. If you can sweep, you're going to sweep. Why would you?
Yeah, I'm kind of seeing it your way there. I want to argue with you, but I can't.
Yeah, I mean, like, your triangle's better, but like, I don't think. Why would the only way to get into a triangle be from the close guard?
It's not. It's not. It's from the open guard, stepping on the hip. Yeah, I mean, you're going to get in, breaking there.
And like
posture.
even the closed ones, a lot of times you see like you come up and you pin, and then you pummel your leg or circle your leg, whatever.
Before. Yeah, you're right.
Well, like all the sweeps you have to open.
Yeah, you're right. I want to argue, but I can't.
You just suck at all the moves. You don't suck at the closed guard.
Correct.
Boom. Got it.
That's right.
how we do it.
That's a good. Yeah, it's a good summary.
So last week I wrote down, I did notes for the first time in a long time. And I just wrote down all the shit that I'm working on. It was like an entire page. I tried to cover the stuff I'm trying to do from every position. And I'm going to go back and do it again on Sunday again and see like what I actually did. I thought about doing this like every day and I'm entirely too lazy for that. So I'm just going to do it once a week and
I think it's reasonable.
Kind of see where like what's working and what's not working and what I forgot to work on and what I added that I started working on that I didn't intend to work on.
So if you were not to tell us that whole page, because I don't want anything to do with that, top like 5 things.
Oh, it's just something from everywhere.
Okay, so from the closed guard.
The back take.
Yep. From the open guard.
The transition into, well, actually, no, it was, there was really no open guard.
You weren't doing the collar drags? I figured that for sure would be on there. Something that you've been hot on.
I don't remember, but I might have wrote that I'm trying to work on the other foot with the butterfly guard instead of my right foot, my left foot. But what I'm definitely noticing the more and more I watch people play butterfly guard is they use the left foot and the left hand. I'm 100% backwards on that. So I'm trying to see now how often people play with the left foot and the right hand because I want to use my right hand on that.
What do you mean? If you play with the left foot, you're going to use the right arm.
No, so for my very basic sweep with pushing upper body and hooking and this way, you're using same foot, same hand. So
I was talking about trapping the arm with the right hand. You're talking about pushing.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So you're pushing with the same hand. You're just not.
My initial
You're not catching the arm.
Yeah, my collar gripping hand.
Yeah,
or collar tie hand or whatever you want to call it. Switching sides on that. But so from open guard, essentially, I was trying to work on that sweep where I underhook the leg and bump the hips out. And I've figured some stuff out on that, but my experience so far with it is I'm not good at it, and when I fail, I put myself in a really bad spot. I'm better off opening the guard. I don't have enough training partners that are about my size. So I feel like it'd be easier if they were smaller
For sure.
to hold my guard close and stuff, because I end up really in a bad spot against big people with that one. I need to practice that one more and figure out the hip movement. It's always hip movement. It's always that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, agreed. Okay. And there's a lot of stuff on YouTube actually, and probably Marcelo's a good one too, but Adam Wardzinski, the Polish black belt, it's really good. He does a lot of butterfly stuff. So he's got a lot of stuff on YouTube free. If anybody's out there looking for it.
Yeah. Yeah, you like that guy.
I
was just I'm more trying to focus on like where I'm getting beat in grip fighting.
Mm-hmm.
Like, cause I'm noticing more and more, like I was talking about the other day that I was asking John and everybody, cause they keep grabbing my pants and like, I'm like, why are they able to just walk in and do that? Like, what am I not seeing in time? And then just trying to see at what point I feel like I lost, and just kind of not necessarily letting people pass. They're going to pass anyway, but like just trying to notice when I feel like it's gone. Like I have to, like, what just happened?
Yeah, no, I get that. And that's an open guard.
Yeah.
How about back? What are you doing from the back?
I didn't have anything for the back.
It's because you're really good at the back.
Yeah, mastered that. Don't need it.
100% finish rate. Let's see. Anything from escapes from positions no? Mastered that too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I had the variations on the knee cut that I was working on. I had the mount cross choke that I've been working on, trying to incorporate the Bravo, but I don't get in close enough to where that Bravo would become relevant.
In what positions?
The mount cross choke when they come in to defend it, pull it across, and I haven't really gotten into that at all. Since then, Joey showed me a neat transition from single leg X to the full X guard. I've been playing with that, so that's a new addition for the week. moved away from the closed guard, and I spent a lot of time in the closed guard taking the back.
Mm-hmm. No, I like that. I like that transition that you were showing today. That was really good.
Again, and that was just, so I've been playing with the, like, that really basic one that they show where you just arm drag and then you spin around to their back.
Grab the lat with your hand, make sure you keep the elbow in, and then go to the back from there.
And I guess I mean, like, in my head made the connection that I think I like it because Nick worked on all the arm drag stuff with me, and then the gift wrap kind of came from that whole position of dragging the arm across. And now I'm like, I tried to do on you today a little bit too, from bottom, which works a lot. Stuff like Ryan does, where you're passing the arm around and get a gift wrap and roll backwards. And for whatever reason today, I finally figured out how to move my hips. It's always moving the hips for that back take. That was so much easier once I like use my leg and my hips to pull myself up, because I kept getting stuck in that same,
like scissor your legs and move your hips.
Yeah. That was like a mind-blowing moment. I like literally stopped until the end, and I was like, I just woke up and was able to do that today. Like, I don't know how I figured that out, but it's just kind of just being there and screwing it up so much. And he just kind of laughed or whatever. And I was like, I have to enjoy this. It doesn't happen very often. So that was fun.
And then I did that to him the next roll.
But yeah, I mean, it's so easy, and I don't know why I couldn't get the motion to pull myself up. Like, I would just get stuck with the arm across.
I would too. I would get stuck. I would always get stuck with my leg across that right leg, because you're going around the left side or their right side, but that right leg, my under leg, would get stuck across. And if you clamp that body and move your hips from that scissor motion, then it was easier to get that leg out. So yeah, no, that was awesome. I'm glad you showed me that.
Yeah, so like Brent's been helping me a lot with that stuff, and that's like what I can feel him doing, but I wasn't understanding how he's pulling himself around. But anyway, I had all that stuff written down, so I'll be curious to see what, like, after a couple weeks of doing this, like what the list looks like, how much because I have a feeling I forget what I'm trying to work on and just get distracted and start doing other stuff where I'm trying to kind of narrow a focus.
Yeah,
or like just not forget, like, there's things I think are good ideas to work on, and then I just kind of like totally forget about it.
No, I get it. Yeah.
That same thing happened the other day. I got stuck in that paper cutter, bread cutter, whatever choke position where I have the arm completely trapped and it's like flailing out like up in my hip, but I can't get the choke because they're defending super good and I'm trying to use whatever to get it and I can't. And so I asked John, I'm like, what can I do with this arm? And he showed better ways to get the choke in the first place, but he showed like kind of a slick kind of sit back arm bar.
Sit back arm bar is really, I was on that for a little while. I like that sit back arm bar that he showed.
And then like, that was last week. And then yesterday morning, going over it again with the same person. And they're like, I'm just laughing because they're acting like they hadn't seen it before. And I'm like, we just went over this last week. That was funny. But like at the same time, I completely forgot that. Like it kind of just goes in and goes out. Like I can't retain. I remember it when I see it. But so I kind of want to go back.
You have to see it like 100 times.
I know, but that's why I'm kind of trying to write this stuff down because like as I'm watching it, I'm like, I would have been in that same position and been like, what the hell was I supposed to do here? Like he just told me what to do and I already forgot, Yeah. So it's just funny to see it again. That's why I wanted to try to write all that stuff down.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
I'm just not going to do it every day.
I don't think it's necessary every day. I don't even think it's necessary every week.
Yeah, well, I want to do it like at least once a week because I feel like if I don't, I get too far. Like the podcast is a good example. Like how far, like I see one new thing during the week. Like John shows something and I'm totally derailed. Like I'm on this new trajectory. I'm like, I just learned something I've never seen before. I got to come back to what I was doing.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I get that. It's hard to focus sometimes.
Yeah, I don't have Adderall or whatever. I just have coffee. So like,
that's definitely not Adderall.
But anyway, that was a new thing. So we'll see how that goes.
Cool. No, I like that. I think that's a great idea. I've taken some notes lately, and
I thought you were going to say Adderall.
No, I've not taken I do not take Adderall. No. Maybe recreationally every now and then. Just kidding. But
For the leg lock videos, you just power through it.
yeah, man, I could maybe use some of that for those. But the other night, whenever we were all hanging out afterwards, we were talking, and it blew my mind because one of the guys said, "Yeah, man, I come in and somebody would be teaching, and I find myself like wondering and thinking about work, or
what?
Yeah, this blew my mind. Like I had to bring it up because, or things, personal stuff or something like that. And I'm like, I leave all of that shit at the door, man. I never think about anything but jiu-jitsu whenever I'm doing it. So it kind of blew my mind. And there was another one that chimed in and said, I'm the same way. I was like, how are you? And these guys are really good at jiu-jitsu, like really good at jiu-jitsu. And I was like, how? Maybe they're so good they don't have to pay attention. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe at some point in time I'll be that way, but not anytime soon.
Yeah, I don't know.
Do you ever think of like outside shit, like relation? I don't think of anything. Like whenever I was going through that heartbreak, that was jiu-jitsu was my solace. Like it was where I came to get away from my thoughts.
Yeah, no. I mean, I don't know. Like, no. Even when I'll think about like unrelated moves, or like I'll see something and start going down a rabbit hole in my head.
Yeah.
But no, not personal stuff. When I'm doing personal stuff, I'll drift off and think about
jiu-jitsu
at a bad time.
Yes.
But yeah, no, that's interesting. I don't know. But I guess if you've seen it a million times, you kind of.
Yeah, I know.
I could understand that. Like,
yeah, I get it.
I mean, when I'm doing the dishes, I don't pay attention to the dishes that much,
Right.
So
you're usually thinking about jiu-jitsu when you're doing dishes. Yeah, me too.
That's funny. Huh?
That was really weird. To me, that was really weird, especially, I was like, wow, it's definitely the other way around for me. I'm thinking about jiu-jitsu when I'm doing other stuff and I have to recenter myself. Mm-hmm. So I just thought that was
Which I guess would be surprising for how many times I've seen something showed and then just been like, I don't know what just happened. I don't know what I'm supposed to do right now.
That's funny. Moving on. I think by now everyone's seen a micro adjustment meme, whether you know what's going on or not.
Yeah.
The origination of it. But man, has that got some traction? I mean, that's like more than the Chris Shea stuff for that over 40 BJ. Do you not remember that one?
Oh, it's over 40.
Oh, it's over 40. That's right. The over 40 group. He took a beating on those memes, and it went over to other groups too, because he said this, something along the lines of, this group has nothing to offer me anymore. I'm leaving. And he never left. So there just kept being memes about it, like 100, maybe even 1,000 memes on this guy. And so this Isaiah Aguayo or whatever, this white belt who did a sneaky like back take with micro adjustments to tap a purple belt. Let's break this down. What do you think actually happened there, Phil?
I think he's just really good.
I think he's a really good white belt.
That's really good. I think I just forgot what to do. I don't know, man. That's such a crazy scenario. I actually screenshot it to show you because I couldn't believe. I thought Tom DeBlass's comment was funny on the original post. Because he's like, this is why I never let anyone tap me at a seminar.
Yeah, I do remember that.
Like, because that was what I thought was the funniest part about the post.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I don't use Facebook that much anymore. And I don't know how that one caught my attention. And I probably because how many comments were on it. And it got posted up in front or something when I opened Facebook. But
so let's break it down. First of all, I'm going to go here. The guy who's getting all the shit is taking it like a champ and actually turning it around and capitalizing. Super jiu-jitsu move there, by the way, for being a white belt. He micro adjusted his way out of that to make a little money out of it.
Sell some t-shirts.
Yeah, I mean, fantastic and good on him. I love that. I love that ending. It's kind of the ending to the story, but you know, and I feel like he was really receptive to the comments and didn't like get like he didn't get butthurt about people saying, but you know, first off, as a white belt, just don't post that stuff. It's silly. It's silly to think, because even if you do think you really got it, you didn't. Like there was, in that scenario, that purple belt was working on something, some defense, something of that nature. And, you know, maybe, so, you know, when somebody's getting down on jiu-jitsu or something, maybe they see that and they're like, hey, I'll give them a little something here. And, you know, just work my defense, but also don't work it too hard, you know? Mm-hmm. And I think that goes on more often than a lot of people realize. And so by just bringing that up in a giant group, by the way, was it the BJJ Fanatics group? Is that the one it was?
I think so.
Yeah. I mean, that's I don't know if there's a bigger jiu-jitsu group out there, but now it's in every group. It's in the over 40 group. It's in every single jiu-jitsu group that I'm in. And that's a lot of them. So.
Well, it's just super wrong, because he's saying it like he's better than the person, like he's competing with the person. I mean, for all the wrong reasons.
No, that's what I mean.
Like, it's not approached in a way like, this is what I'm doing to get better, or like, this is what I'm doing that I find is working for me. It's like, this is why I'm better than this person. And that's a way to get really frustrated really fast, especially if that person finds out like, oh, if I let him tap me, he's going to treat me like shit. So now I can't, you know, or I don't want to. And then it's going to get really unfortunate and really frustrating for the person who's competing with somebody who's much higher level.
Yeah.
It's not going to be fun.
No. And it's not a learning environment. I mean, that's part of the training, the give and take, and not competing within the walls of your own academy. I mean, if you're in competition class and you're going hard rounds, yeah, go hard rounds. Everybody knows what they're there for, right? I mean, that's the name of the class. It's a competition class, but still, you know, there might be something even in competition class that say you're working on a defense to something. You're going to see how far you can get in it to where you do it. Well, guess what? I mean, I've had that with upper belts before. I know they gave me the position. I know they got deep in that position, and I got the tap. Great. Mm-hmm. But I didn't get that tap. Like, that wasn't, I'm not better than them. That I was just, they just, you don't know how far is too far unless you go that far. You know, in a submission, you don't know when you can't get out of it unless you go that far. And you know, there's a lot of one of the times, what was the white belt? See, I was doing the cross because I'm trying to do the cross choke defense from guard, like John does. I like it whenever he just sits there and you try to cross choke and you can't get it. So I was doing that, and I'm just trying to defend. I'm trying to think of what I would need to do on bottom to do it. And one of the white belts, they got it deep in there, man. And I was like, right away, and I was like, tap. They're like, what just went on? I was like, you just got the cross choke, man. You just, you know, and they're like, he's like, you didn't even defend that. I was like, I was defending it, but you know, I'm trying to see how far is too far, and that was too far. You know, I can't defend it after that point.
Yeah. I mean, if you never practice delayed defense, you're not going to
do the late defense in competition if you haven't practiced the late defense.
Yeah. I mean, all the people who are really good say they tap a lot.
Say that again. That was really fast. How much coffee have you had?
A lot.
Wow.
All the people who are really good say they tap a lot.
Yeah.
So, like, if you're never getting tapped, you're probably not getting much better.
Right. If tapping is what you're avoiding, you're missing the point in jiu-jitsu. Don't you think?
Mm-hmm. I mean, for like trying to get like high level, yeah. I mean, you have to put yourself in terrible spots or whatever, and sometimes you partly go unconscious and think you verbally tapped and ask your training partner, did I tap? Did I tell you that was it? You're like, no. Did I tap in the hand? Like, I don't remember.
Phil referring to our role today at Open.
It was a good bow and arrow.
I got in a bow and arrow chair, and I was like, "This is really tight," and I was like, "Well, maybe it's not." I was like, just doubt. I was like, "Maybe it's not," but I knew. I mean, my leg was up over your shoulder. I was like,
yeah. I thought I was going to strip the grip. I was pretty confident in that.
That was a terrible. Like that was your worst thought.
I had two hands on it. I thought I was going to strip it.
And then I looked down. I was like, "Oh," and I just let go. And he looked at me. He was, kind of shook his head and looked at me. And I was like, "Did you tap?" And he was like, "I think I said that's it." I was like, "No, you didn't say anything." you're like, "Well, whenever I was asleep, I said that's it."
In my head, I was like, "Yeah, that's it." And then I went to tap, and no, I never made it out. Okay.
That's the first time that's ever happened with us.
Well, I've been close a couple times. We always triangles and stuff.
We always go close. I mean, that's the way we train with each other. I mean,
I was going to break the grip though.
I thought
I was getting
you were
out.
already going out. If
I was
you thought
confident.
You were going to break that
I was
grip.
confident the whole time. Like I was like, I have two hands on this. I'm gonna break that grip, and didn't happen.
It's what they call choking through the grip, ladies and gentlemen.
That's true. Yeah, that was good. That was tight.
I really thought, like, I was like, man, I feel like this is tight, but then you weren't tapping. I was like, oh, yeah, well.
Yeah, that was good.
That's why.
That was funny.
Slew, do you like that story?
Yeah, that came out. I mean, that was fast too. Like that wasn't long.
Yeah, no, it was no more than 3 seconds.
Like usually when I feel like I've been like, it's been close, it's usually like in a triangle or something where it's like getting tighter. That was
slow, yeah.
That was like that Dean Lister moment for you where he like popped your head showing you that thing at Origin.
That was like a millisecond where I felt like I was going to be out.
Where you just kind of like, you did that thing that like the cats look like when they're kind of like trying to stay away. So your head just kind of drops and you're like, oh no, I'm good.
I'm good. I'm good. I thought he dissected my carotid arteries when he did that.
It was fast. That was funny.
Dean did the same. So Dean, speaking of which, Dean Lister was down at the same clinic that Lovato went down to. Apparently it's one of their friends who runs the hospital down there he's doing stem cells. And I don't know if you saw it or not, going off track here, but I don't know if you saw it or not, but so he was doing the stem cells down in Mexico, same place Lovato did, but he also was doing the hallucinogenics. I don't remember if it was LSD or psilocybin mushrooms for his PTSD from fighting, from his
like MMA.
I don't want to say CTE. Yeah, Dean Lister. Yeah, Dean Lister was the boogeyman.
No, I know that, but I didn't know he had PTSD from it.
Yeah, or CT, whatever. But the both LSD and psilocybin have been one of the only things that people that physicians have documented that regrow neurons. So I'll butcher this, but so they're making that connection again with those neurons that pathway's been closed down through that CT or PTSD or whatever that is. It's going on. There's a lot of studies ongoing with military people as well as fighters. So yeah, he went through that. He talked about that he was on, pain pills for shoulder and stuff, and he was drinking a lot, and now he's like, he doesn't have those addictive things, which those types of hallucinogenics are good for breaking any of your habits that you want to break. It reforms the neurological pathways that allows you to get past what those addictions are. I'm not saying I have firsthand experience with that, but I have seen that happen with people. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I thought that was very interesting, and I'm glad to see, he had shoulder surgery like 4 months ago. So hopefully he'll be on the mats before long, because they're still closed down apparently.
They're on the mats. He's back. I saw a post to him.
Is he back on the mat?
Oh, yeah, Jocko posted something the other day. I saw on
I'm
one
sure
of them.
They're still on the mats, but I don't think Victory's open.
Oh, I thought you meant because of his shoulder surgery to get back on the mat.
Oh, well, yeah, I didn't know he was back on the mat training for that too.
Because I think the post said something along the lines of like his first day back, and he
Oh, good. Okay. How long?
He's still got it. That's what Jocko
Well,
was.
I don't think that guy's going to lose
I think
it.
that was the theme of the post. But yeah, I scrolled past something the other day.
Oh, good.
But that's funny that you said that. I forgot about that.
Yeah. No, I'm glad to hear it because that guy, man, he's a gem. His teaching, everything. I really enjoyed that. What else, Phil?
I don't know. Where are we at?
I'm tapped out, man.
Okay.
You don't have another? You had the one.
No, I thought I said, how long is it?
Oh, we're good.
Are we good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, if you got something else you want to bring out, we can talk about it. We're at 41 minutes.
Oh, yeah. Well, the not trying's been working pretty good.
Ah,
That
good point.
was my thing to work on a couple weeks ago. It's been working out pretty good.
I like that. I like that when you said, I think that's a good guide for people to go with. And that is that there are some times that I'll be tired, but I'm not going to be tired and losing at the same time. I think that's brilliant.
Yeah.
And I think that more people should follow that mantra.
Yeah, I keep thinking about it too, because like I'm intending on competing, and I know that's my weakest point is like I don't have that like super aggressive like drive personality, and like I listen to Dan Gable's book, and when he talks about training and like working that hard and stuff, and I'm like, I'm just too lazy for that. Like I don't have that.
I make up the excuse. It's not that I'm too lazy, even though that's probably what it is. I make up the excuse that I'm following Firas Zahabi's way of training, and that is only go 70% at max, because then you can train every day.
So that's, and I feel like I'm even lower than that at this point. Like,
sure. Yeah, but max of 70%.
Yeah.
Never blow it out. Never go 100.
Like, I don't know. And I don't know how to fix that for competition, but like, I feel it's weird. Like I keep going back and forth. Like, should I work on cardio? Should I try to get the stamina so I can really like have an aggressive style? But like at the same time, that's not even how I train. Like, so that doesn't make a lot of sense to me either. And if I keep at the slow pace, but I can spend so much more time on the mat by just not trying is not the best word for it, but it is at the same time, like not forcing anything. If it doesn't work, it's because I'm doing it wrong, and just try something else and keep re-gripping and trying again until something is essentially effortless, because that's how it's supposed to be. So I don't know, because I feel like if I can spend much more time and I get much better, it kind of is going to just take care of itself.
No, agreed. And plus, by not holding on to positions that you're going to lose anyway, that position, then you get in a better spot to defend earlier. And even if it goes later, you get a spot to defend later. I mean, why not? Why not be, the thing, even though that Gary Tonin instructional on Exit the System, he's talking about all the defenses and stuff, I don't think we're certainly not there yet, but it has got my mind going towards every time I do an escape, I'm looking for a submission. I'm not capable of doing it yet, but on those escape, that was his overarching theme that, because they always, like him and Gordon Ryan and Danaher, they always want you to have like 3 things that you take from it and never forget from the videos that they do. And that for me, I think was the most important thing he was trying to get across, was that going directly from defending, escaping a position straight to submission is plus. It's better. It's the best.
Yeah. I mean, that's funny. That's not.
But Phil, you said you act like this. It's intuitive. I never thought of it that way. I'm not capable of it, but now I'm thinking about it. Do you know what I mean? So that's the first step in me actually thinking, actually doing it, is that every time I escape a position, I'm like, okay, I've got to look for a submission or a setup to a submission.
I mean, I don't do that either, but I mean, Yeah, if you can escape a terrible spot and get a submission immediately, that'd be really good. But it's just
You're dumbing it down. You're really dumbing it down.
that's funny that's what you took away because did you watch any more? I only watched a little bit that we watched, a couple minutes. That's not what I got out of what he was saying at all. Like what I remember.
Are you serious?
Yeah, no, that's not what I took
felt
away.
like that was the one thing he was driving home the entire time.
The one thing that I've thought about from that was thinking about how to break what the other person's trying to do. Like how you only need to break one part of the submission to escape.
I think that was number 2 on my like on the 3 things.
That's the only thing I took away from it.
I think that was number 2, but I really feel like number 1 was that your escape should set up a submission. And that's why I've been thinking, like, again, I can't do it, but I know that just thinking about it just like I'll give you for example on it. Just like whenever I was starting to defend clock chokes, all the chokes, right? Mm-hmm. Every single time, and I still do this to this day, every single time that somebody puts a hand and gets a lapel grip or gets a choke, I think exactly, okay, I'm going to turn left or I'm going to turn clockwise or counterclockwise, whichever way unwinds the choke. That's my thought. Anytime somebody goes across, I think about nothing else. And from doing that, I became a lot better at escaping chokes just by thinking that.
You actually think that thought?
Every single time. Still. Every single time. You can ask anybody. I'm telling you.
You can ask anybody.
Yeah, because
what does Jeff think about when?
No, every time somebody asks me, like, how'd you do that? I'm like, every single time that you get a grip on my lapel, all I'm thinking of is which way unwinds the choke. That's all I'm thinking about.
That's weird. I feel like I don't think at all.
I don't think in most positions, but that one, and I think that this escaping and trying to see where those escapes leave us or land us, and really trying to make the micro adjustments. Sorry, man. I'm probably going to do that a lot more, but just making those adjustments to where I turn that escape into a submission. Thinking about it, like again, it's
just efficiency.
In the next year, I might find one of those positions.
You'll find a bunch. It's efficiency. It's just, and like
maybe,
yeah, it's just like whatever's easiest.
It's not easy. That's not the easiest route. The easiest route is to escape and create distance.
Maybe.
The easiest route's just a tap.
It's like so easy. Again, probably not the best word. Efficiency. Like to get where you're going is to. There's always going to be like something that's simple.
But most of the time, whenever I'm escaping, I'm thinking or focusing on escaping, not what's there after. Now I'm thinking about what's there after.
Okay.
I feel you like you don't value that at all.
No, I don't think that's how. I don't think what you're saying is true, and I think you have been doing it, but you're not good at it. And I think you're gonna find like things. I don't know. Like we rolled for a long time today, and you escaped multiple times from like a clock choke type collar drag. Probably because you were thinking whether you were going to roll left or right.
Always.
And then you did, and you rolled back into guard and used that to sweep me immediately. So like the difference is you like looked for a sweep instead of like attacking the leg.
Right.
So like
again, I'm thinking about that I'm talking about thinking about that submission. Mm-hmm. But in certain things, even though I go with the sweep because that's what I know, that's what I've done. Then it's okay. What's better? Where am I at? What can I attack this leg?
Yeah, it's just getting more efficient. It's like the same idea as like that.
It has to be a conscious thought.
No, they pop up all the time. You just see things for the first time. Like you'll be in the same position a lot until you figure out something else.
Okay, so I'm really bad at learning stuff, so I have to trick myself into learning things. Like trick myself by saying, "Oh, I'm here. I've got to do this," and think about it, so that eventually I'll do that.
That now you've confused me. What do you mean? How is that tricking yourself?
It's like it's making me conscious of the fact that I'm not doing this as efficiently as I should be. Instead of subconsciously, like you're saying, subconsciously, we're going to be the most efficient at some point in time. Probably. But I think if we make a conscious effort of it, just like improvement, just like things that you want to improve on, if you don't have any direction, then you're only going to make incremental improvements that are part of your subconscious, not your conscious. And if you're conscious of it, you're going to make more improvements faster.
Yeah.
I don't know why you got that shit-eating grin on your face, Phil.
I just think I thought what was much more valuable out of the 30 minutes or whatever that we were watching was him talking about breaking submissions, like breaking one part of it to get out. I think where you go from there is like you're just going to find those things anyway.
I think that's the beauty of different learning styles, is that you got something totally different than I did from it.
But it all boils down to don't let the other person do what they want to do.
Marcelo.
It's the best advice ever.
It's the best advice ever. You're right. Your game changed after that. Yeah. You're right. It is.
I just think like you're gonna like when you find a like a Kimura, for example, you could find those from anywhere. You could escape places and just grab a Kimura. Like I don't know. I feel like
that is one of them that I do. That is one of them that I do for sure.
And like so from that Kimura position, I played with that for a little while, and like I would end up kind of in like the back take position where I'm kind of behind driving in and they're on their side, right? Before I actually have the back. So the Kimura is not the efficient way, but like then I found some like the ability to transfer into like a collar grip or transfer all the way to taking the back, possibly like go all the way to the head and arm, you know, like accidentally or not accidentally, but like not consciously looking for these things. They just kind of present themselves, and all of a sudden in different scenarios, I'm like, oh, all the way down to that one choke John showed a while ago, which is just a super basic collar one, to the one Brent shows, which is takes it behind the head. Like it went from a lot of thought and movement to go like all these steps to I'm in this position, I can just go right here, and this is the easiest way. I think the more time you spend playing with different stuff, like you'll escape and you'll be in your, like you do that hip bump or big like hip escape from the mount all the time, and you end up in like single leg X. You could heel hook there, but like true, it's just generally not something we do right at the level we're at wearing the gi. Yeah. Like that's my argument against what you're saying.
I feel like you're more arguing for, because I feel like that, yeah, there are certain positions that we already do that from. And yes, that was subconscious that we did those movements from there. But I'm thinking that if I have a conscious approach to it, that if I'm thinking of it, that I'll make those connections faster. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
You still don't buy it.
What else were you thinking of? Like, I'm going to escape and go.
I wasn't thinking. I was just doing.
Right. But like, that's.
But now if I go here, I'm like, oh, you know what? Look, that single leg X could transfer me into a straight ankle lock or heel. That's a stupid one, because I always do those anyway. But you know, the side control escape into Darce, you know, that John Shell showed at the Greensboro seminar. You know, that's a really good example of that, of turning an escape into a submission.
Yeah. My point is like, what else would you be doing? Like, that's the whole point of
just
jiu-jitsu.
escaping. Just escaping.
But you're lying, like, or not lying. You're just
not lying.
You're like the you say the guy's a submission artist and he's gonna hunt those things. Like, what else have you been hunting for? Like, when you escape, you're gonna work your way back to trying to get a submission. Because it's not the only time you ever escape is like positional where you escape and reset. Like that can't be true.
Not always, right? Again, there are those few things that we find ourselves in all the time where I can either sweep or attack from them, but it's not the predominant thought in my head whenever I'm escaping. And now it is.
Okay.
And you're going to see. Because now I'm just going to become.
There's no other way to think about it.
A submission magician.
There's no other way to think about it. You're going to try to advance a position into a submission, and you want to do it the most efficient way possible without trying.
I feel like that I'm right on this one, but you know what?
We're both agreeing it's a great idea. You're just acting like you've never done it before. I disagree with that.
I haven't consciously thought of that before. It just happens because we find ourselves in those positions. We're like, oh, we're here. Good.
So
let's do this.
So like
now instead of doing that,
what you're
we're
saying,
like, okay, let's look for that small adjustment that some would say is a micro adjustment and go to that position so that we can get the submission.
Like, the only time I would say that you wouldn't have done that would be like when I'm obsessing over, like, I'm only grabbing elbows trying to get a Kimura because I'm terrible at Kimuras. I'm going to keep grabbing the elbow. Why wouldn't you know what I mean? Like, why wouldn't you just be escaping and trying to get into a submission in the most efficient way possible? Like, are you just looking for better transitions? Is that what you're trying to say? You're looking for more better transitions?
Correct.
Simplify this, Jeff.
I felt like I was.
That was the least efficient way.
We just now took 17 minutes there to go around in a big circle, and now we are agreeing.
I feel like what you were telling me is you were just going to escape and just not try to submit, and you were just going to work on this random thing over here instead of trying to sharpen it. Like, make it the most efficient way possible. Because to me, that sounds like you were escaping into a submission. I'm glad we had this talk.
Yeah, it's good talk. Good talk. I'm over it now. We've gone an hour, Phil. Phil, tell the folks how they can support us like Schluty does by buying shirts and stuff.
Yeah, he bought everything. He owes you a lot of money.
Yeah.
You get a t-shirt, you get a rash guard if you're small. You get a hoodie if you're not too big. And then share the podcast and text Jeff an idea of what to talk about on the podcast.
Yeah, and by the way, this is episode 94. We've got 6 episodes to the big 100th episode extravaganza that we have planned. So your suggestions are welcome. And thank you guys for listening. We appreciate it. And if you're not out there doing something to make yourself better each and every day, get out there and do it. Phil and I choose Jiu Jitsu. We hope you do too.
I'm about to feed him to the sharks right now. Get him hype right now. Yeah. You know the ground is up. Yeah. Everybody that trains, you know the game. Yeah. So let's get it. Slap it up, bump it, and roll. Hey. Yeah, that's the way that it goes. Ain't no better way to better yourself in this game. You're feeling the growth. That's time on the mat. We put in the work. Believe it ain't easy, I know. But we train for the love of the game, the love of the art. Now slap it up, bump it, let's roll.